Welcome. Happy Sunday, Crypto FUD. Let's jump right into it. So, Bitcoin sitting at around 20,900. It's been kind of going back and forth, a little bit under, a little over. Looks like we are trying to form some kind of support somewhere around 20,900. If that's the case, that will be fantastic. Um, We did reach a local high of around 21,000, but obviously we did hit some support. So we are kind of just basically, hit some resistance. So we're basically trying to find some kind of support and we'll move from there. You will see little moves where, when I first was starting just 30 seconds ago, a minute ago, we were at 20,912 and now we're at 20,850. And if you're not familiar with Bitcoin, it moves when it's in these kind of stages where it's like just moving. You can look at it and be like, "Oh my gosh, it's heading down," and then you look at it an hour later and it's at $22,000. So just wanted to point that out. Don't get like psyched out or whatever the case may be. If it whatever ways is going, it can go the opposite way. It can go just the same thing. It could, do another local high of maybe even getting to like 22, and you're thinking, oh, here we go, and then an hour later it's back down to 20. So right now, this is what's going to happen. You have a lot of movement, a lot of volume, massive volume. So things are moving fast, but as long as we can kind of hold some kind of support around 20,900, that's fine by me, especially the environment we've been in. If you do look at the MACD, I do want to just zoom in a little bit on this MACD. We basically, this was when we hit that local high of around 21,000, and we've gone down obviously, right? So it looks like on the MACD, but on here on the charts, it's really nothing crazy. It's basically down from the local high, pretty much down like $1,000 for Bitcoin. That's basically nothing. But what I want to point out is the MACD looks like that blue wants to flip over that red. And when you do see that, you'll usually see this scoop and we'll start having an upward momentum. That MACD does flip, starts curving up. You will see a nice little run, possibly up to maybe 21 and a half thousand. Not saying that's what's going to happen, but we could see something like that because it looks like the MACD does want to flip and start heading back up. So it is Sunday. That's another thing I wanted to point out too is usually these past Sundays in the last few months, we've been kind of, we'll have some rarely out of maybe 10 Sundays, we'll have one or two of them that will kind of pump or maybe, do all right. But the other eight, where usually there's like a dump. There's usually like, where it for whatever reason, Sundays it's just like people sell off, and then we'll kind of retrace during the week. So for this Sunday, we really haven't there hasn't been a dump. You can say we're, from the local high, like I keep saying, we're down a very little bit, but it's really been pretty steady. And we've been kind of looking for that support somewhere around 20,900, which is amazing. So we'll take it. Just pointing this stuff out. We have this week coming out. From what I'm getting is that I think we might have some earnings for some big companies and stuff like that. Could maybe move the market, one way or the other, but I really don't think that earnings right now are going to do much. Maybe with the stock market and to those particular like stocks, like if it's like Bed Bath and Beyond or whatever these big companies, if because I mean right now, how do you think earnings are going to be for any of these big companies? They're going to be down. Right now it's just we're basically in a recession. We've been in one, so my opinion. So any of the earnings is going to be down, and I don't think it's going to affect really the market, especially crypto. I really don't see it affecting crypto whatsoever. So ADA, I wanted to point out, I mean, immediately into the MACD. If you really look at this MACD, if you see Bitcoin had that big curve up, and it was kind of Bitcoin's like right here, basically. It's like wanting to look like the blue wants to flip. Well, ADA's already done the flip, and it looks like it. I'm not saying it wants to shoot back up, but it looks like it wants to kind of maybe. It looks like it maybe wants to start trickling up. And I mean, if it would make sense because if you look, we've been slowly just moving ourselves up, slowly moving ourselves up. We'll have these really big pumps, and you'll see it. This pump right here, this pump right here, and then we'll kind of like move a little bit, but we're slowly. Looks like we're just slowly moving up. So that's a good thing. Hopefully we can stay on this track of just moving up. I'm gonna delete this trend line because every time I draw a trend line, it's like I feel like right when I draw the trend line, like the next day it like breaks that trend line. So we don't want to see that, right? So ADA's looking good. The MACD looks like it's flipped and it's like curving up. So that's awesome. Solana, it's kind of sitting. Solana's sitting a little bit like Bitcoin. It's still actually on its way, like not the MACD's on its way down, and you can see the curve up here. Obviously, it is curving down, but I mean at $22.84 compared to what it's been, Solana's nothing, anything but down. It's completely opposite of down. It's definitely up. If you're looking short term, obviously you look long term. Anybody that's bought in, 6 months ago, I know you guys are probably down. It's all right. I'm here to tell you, Solana. I'm not invested in it, but you can see Solana is not going anywhere. Solana's not going anywhere as long as they can, really fix their outages and get past that whole FTX stuff, which I think it's pretty much done with. I think they have a bright future ahead of them. I really do. Let's see here. Ada already had that chart up. We already seen that one. I wanted to point out Gala Games. Gala Games has been on a run. It's been on a big run. We talked about it a few days ago. They actually came out with they're releasing them because they got into the movie industry and they're going to be producing a movie that has The Rock in it. That and also they did some kind of contract where they were able to buy like 15, I believe like 15 games, and the games already have like 20 million users or something like that already on these games. I don't know particularly what the games are, but they're all under the umbrella of Gala now. And that's another thing that was a big move for Gala, and that's why they kind of moved up. Not kind of, they moved up. And if you really, oh man, hold on. If you look at what they've done just recently, they're up 200% from the just from the beginning of this month. So 10 days ago, they're up 200%. Gala is. So that's crazy. That's how things are moving around. And the other one that I wanted to point out, let's see here. There's my ICP. Always point out ICP, right? Remember I drew this not trend line, but this like upward momentum channel tonal right here. And I mean, look where we're at now. This is, when I bought in down here, and ICP's been doing good. If you look at the MACD, looks like it wants to, slightly go down, and I wouldn't doubt that we kind of retrace. ICP did make a high of almost $5.40. Right now, it's sitting at about $5.15. So it's definitely cooling off, which is to be expected. These coins, they've done a lot in the last few days. They got to take a little break, charge back up, and hopefully this week we see some big things going on. Bitcoin's looking great. It's consolidating at a very nice point. So just going to leave it there. As far as like TA and what to expect, like what our next moves are, I'll just give it for Bitcoin particularly because that's the only thing that's really going to matter right now. Everything else will follow. So if we really look at Bitcoin, let's see here. I think we're sitting at, you can see we're sitting at right here. These were support levels. If you see this, we're basically sitting on this support that we had. All this was like months before FTX. This was all support that we're sitting right now that's resistance. So if you guys are familiar with what I always say, we got to test resistance. We got to keep testing resistance, and eventually it'll flip and become support most of the time. Sometimes it'll reject and it'll send it down. But if you can see here, we bounced off of pretty much where we're at multiple times. One, two, three, four, at least four times just right there that we bounced off of pretty much 21,000 that we're at right now. So I think once we pass 21,000, which is a big point, a big spot, there's going to be a lot of resistance right there. I think our next spot, if let's see if we can see, I think our next spot's going to be somewhere around probably 20. We're probably going to be 22, and it's going to be just like that. 21, 22, 23, 24. I think that's what we're going to have to keep breaking these barriers down, each $1,000 barrier, until we get to our next level, which that's going to be something that it's going to be a very big deal, and you're talking somewhere around $30,000. I don't want us to get ahead of ourselves because I don't think we're going to be getting anywhere near $30,000 anytime soon. Honestly, I really think that at least we have to give it a few months. If we shoot up to 30,000 right now, I feel like it's just going to be unnatural, and there could be a big chance that we come flying back down. So I think what we're doing is great. How the market's going naturally up, each $1,000 is going to kind of just keep testing it, getting rejected. Eventually it'll find its support and we'll keep moving from there. So that's pretty much it. But this week we'll keep an eye on everything. Hopefully everything is keeps going the way it is. If we do see a cool off, don't be scared. Like I said in the other video before, just us doing this movement that we did this past couple of days, this last week, should just show you and provide confidence to yourself and all of us that this is gonna, it's gonna happen. And things like this, they move fast is what I'm getting to. So a lot of us have been through a rough year. Make the most of it. Don't, if you're up a little bit, I mean, it's not financial advice, but what I'm saying is that you don't want to sell early and you don't want to FOMO in. So if we do see a big dip, maybe that would be a good time to buy back in. There could be more pain, but if we see more movement up, don't get ahead of yourself because we could be on our way up and it could be a wild ride. So that's pretty much it. I'm going to leave it there. I hope you guys have a great Sunday. Again, I thank you guys, everybody, for the support. I'll see you guys this week.